Hi, my name is Ubong Essien. My relationship with the NSA started about 6 years ago in terms of a direct connection now, but it still goes way back. I remember some 10 years ago, I wanted to do more professional speaking, and because that did not exist in Nigeria, I went online just looking up opportunities, and somehow, using a search engine, I stumbled upon the NSA website and I took an interest. But at that level of my speaking, I couldn't really afford to be a member of the NSA. So I just took a mental note and set it as a goal that as I developed myself and earned more as a speaker, I would someday join this great organization or this great association. So 6 years ago, I finally had the resources, the means, and of course the pedigree, so to speak, to join the NSA. That's more or less, in a nutshell, my story about my relationship with the NSA. When I joined the NSA, prior to joining the NSA, I'd already been doing some speaking. My concern then was, how could I become much more professional and be part of a body that has the global clouds to enable me take my speaking career to the highest possible level, not just being a local champion, so to speak, in my country. So when I joined the NSA in 2006, my immediate goal, apart from becoming a member, because it didn't take me more than 2 hours, by the time I made the phone calls and they asked me for the documentation, which I sent by email, within the space of 2 hours, I had received my membership certificate, because I already had the membership requirement. Because remember, 4 years to that time, it had always been my dream, my goal. So I'd already been working towards it. So immediately I joined the NSA successfully, my immediate goal became attaining the CSP designation, because I realized with the NSA, that is the highest tribute to your professionalism globally. And I wanted to attain that highest possible standard in my profession, which is professional speaking. So yes, I realized it would require 6 years of membership. So I said, well, I said to myself, Ubong, if you work very hard and meet up with the requirements in terms of numbers of clients, in terms of speaking engagement, in terms of revenues earned, in terms of testimonials, and in terms of the credits by attending the various events, training events for speakers in the US, you just might get it by your 6th year. So that was my goal, to be very honest. And I began to work towards it. Started visiting the United States every other year, attending the Speakers University, attending the conventions, accumulating those credits, and documenting my speaking as well. And as a last year, when I looked at it, I was kind of concerned, wondering if I had met the requirement. Then I said to myself, why don't you just try? Why don't you come up with the documentation and see if you truly have accumulated enough on all those aspects to attain the CSP? And I did. Fortunately for me, the volume of work that I had done and the volume of my participation in terms of being part of the association somehow met the set benchmark. And here we are. I typically do what is generally acknowledged as motivational topics. And that's why our niche is referred to as motivational speaking. I do achievement motivation. So any subject matter that borders on that, I work in areas bordering on human orientation. And then of course, I also work on entrepreneurial topics. And from time to time, I do some work on leadership and management development areas. And finally, communication skills, specifically training in public speaking. I do a lot of that as well. Perhaps the achievement motivation beat. It inspired me to write a book titled Dare to Dream and Succeed, and I've spoken on that topic severally across the board, because it's something that appeals very strongly to me about the power of dreams. And in Dare to Dream and Succeed, I talk about 4 cardinal principles, or what you might call 4 cardinal values. I talk about dreaming big, dreams, as the first step. That it's very important to challenge yourself to go for something that is very high in terms of expectation and ideals. And I give again the example of how I had set at my first moment of joining the NSA the target of becoming a CSP. I knew that the requirements were very significant, but my mentality has always been, you've got to dream big dreams. You've got to set very high expectations for yourself. You may not meet it. It's possible I could not have met the requirement, but I would have learned by trying, and I would have prepared myself better. So it's one of the things I talk about. We must dream dreams, dream big dreams, set high expectations for ourselves. We must also have the courage to draft those dreams. It's not enough to have it in your head. You've got to somehow document it, in written terms or in whatever way you choose to document, as evidence that you have something going on here. There's an intention. Because if you don't have such an evidence, it's like going to a court of law and you find yourself in a tangle of he said, she said, and they're asking, where is the evidence? There is nothing, and you can't bank on that. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to do this someday, sometime. Put it down. That's part of what I do as a person. That's part of what I challenge people to do. If you have a dream, no matter how big or great it is, draft it, document it, detail it. This is what I have in mind. This is where I'm going to. And then once you have done that, the third principle I talk about is declare it. You must talk about it. You must declare the dream. You must let people know, I am aspiring to become a certified speaking professional. I told it to everyone who cared to listen. And I know 1 or 2 people who wondered, with all the amount of money in terms of the dollar value, how much of the local Nigerian currency are you going to have to make to meet that international benchmark? And it seemed crazy at the time. But then it's what I teach. Therefore, I must practice what I teach. So I have dreamed the dream. I have drafted the dream. Now I'm declaring the dream. I don't discuss my dreams. I tell people, declare your dreams, but don't discuss, because you know that when you discuss dreams, you are asking for input. You are asking for opinions. And chances are that they might not be very good and encouraging opinions that you get. It opens the door to discouragement. So I say to people, declare it, because in declaring, you are emphatic, you're making it categorically clear, and it's not open to suggestions, and it's not open to discouragement. And once you have done that third bit, the fourth cardinal principle is you must now do the dream. Now, as you can see, it gets much more concrete with every step, with every principle. You've dreamt it, it's a big dream. You've drafted it, it's taking some form of solidness, and then you're declaring it, so it's becoming a part of you. And then you know that there is no going back. You've got to begin to do things towards your realization of the dream. So it is practical, as optimistic as it is. It is also functionally practical, because it shows you what to do at every step. And if you follow these, chances are that you would most likely achieve the dream, in spite of the obstacles that you're likely to meet anyway. But chances are that when you follow this principle, you would most likely achieve whatever dream that you have dreamt. That's one of the key things I like to talk about to inspire people. That's why I wrote the book, Dare to Dream and Succeed. We must be daring. No matter how big it is, we must dare. Because as Helen Keller would say, life is either a daring adventure or nothing. And that's my philosophy. That's what drives me. One of my dreams is to establish a specialized television station in Nigeria called the Achievement Channel. I have an obsession to perpetuate what I call a can-do culture in my country, Nigeria. That's what drives me every day, to perpetuate a can-do culture in my country. And one of the ways I want to go about that is to use the media. So one of the dreams that I'm working on, I'm already working on it, is to establish the Achievement Channel, where every content on that TV station, it will be free to air, would be focused on achievement and motivation. So if you're an entrepreneur, there'll be content on the TV station for you to inspire you, to inform you about how you can survive and thrive no matter the difficulties, so that we can create our own Googles, we can create our own Marriotts, empower people to become entrepreneurs. If you have challenges in communication skills, there'll be content in that area on how to speak effectively. For those involved with their careers, there'll be content. So we're saying that we can now use the typical media and specialize in the area of achievement. That's one of my many, big dreams. And I can tell you, we're working on it. Hopefully, we're working on getting the license from the authorities, and hopefully with time, I'm sure the next couple of years, I'd like to be hopeful that we would somehow get up to that.